So in this call, I have a associate of us, Marcus from Singapore. Marcus, wave your hand and say hi. So a little bit about Singapore. A lot of clients who are high net worth individuals are looking to make investments offshore out of their own country. And a lot of countries offer citizenship programs, investment by citizenship program. I know here in Canada, I live, they have a program like that. United States has programs like that. And so does Singapore. Hey, if you invest X amount of dollars in whatever you want to invest in Singapore, as part of that deal, you also get citizenship in Singapore. And whether you want to take benefits of their healthcare system or whatever, those are personal choices like that. From an investment perspective, Singapore, just like a lot of other countries, offers foreigner does not pay any tax on capital gains made and so on. And so there's lots of benefits of working with Marcus on that for sure. However, the area that I'm interested in, the area that I'm a client of Marcus on, the area that I promote Marcus for, is actually none of those things. It's actually to open up bank accounts for me and my clients in places like Singapore. I'm going to talk a little about why that's important, why that's what the competitive unfair advantages like that. So imagine Marcus and I are consultants, and Marcus and I both sell consulting services. Let's just assume that's true. But Marcus takes money and opens up a bank in Cayman Islands, and then he opens up a bank account in Singapore, and I don't. And let's just say Marcus and I both made $250,000 end of this year. All I did was I made $250,000. That's what I did. Marcus can take his $250,000, and I'll just use Cayman Islands Bank as an example. He deposits that with the Central Bank of Cayman Islands. His bank in Cayman Islands gets a line of credit at 10 times multiples, because we know the central banks gives the local bank a line of credit at 10 times multiples. So this $250,000 now turns into $250 million. Line of credit, keywords line of credit. He draws that $2.5 million out. He goes to Singapore. He deposits that in Singapore and says, hey, I want to make an investment. It's just like, imagine you're going to a bank. You put a down payment of 20% down with a bank and say, I want to buy a house. You miss a bank, you meet the other 80%. Same thing. You take $2.5 million. You now go put it in a Singapore bank. You say, I want to make an investment. Here's things I want to make an investment in. I'm putting down $2.5 million. Can you give me a line of credit or loan like that? And now Singapore bank will give you $10 million. So if Marcus and I are both consultants, I made $250,000. Marcus has a $10 million loan. That guy, Marcus, can outperform me. He can hire better consultants, better marketing, better advertising, invest in technology. He can do things that I cannot do or afford to do. That's on the foreground. That's the immediate benefit. But let me tell you about 5 years from now, 10 years from now, like that, and what that looks like. So let's say Marcus and I both want to sell our consulting practices. It's only one big difference behind the scenes and on paper. Marcus owns a bank in Cayman Islands. Marcus has a bank account in Singapore. Marcus is on paper, his corporation can do so many things, has so many capabilities, access to credit facilities that my consulting firm does not have. So if you want to buy a consulting firm, who are you more likely going to buy? Are you going to buy Marcus's consulting firm or mine? Could you see how Marcus has the ability to exponentially not only outperform me in a day-to-day business, but when he wants to sell his business, he can do multiple, like his exit number would be a multiples that I could never achieve. So that's the benefits that I see in working with Marcus. With that in mind, I'm going to keep quiet. Marcus, do you want to introduce yourself to my audience, who you are and what you do?
Hi, everyone. I think you already know my name. My name is Marcus. I primarily do a lot of business consulting out of Singapore. One of the things that I do a lot of work with is assist a lot of my clients set up bank accounts, set up a registered company in Singapore. Some of the projects I'm working on at the moment is a family office. So a family office is basically a special investment vehicle that there are a lot of individuals, people, the founders of Google, the Dyson family. These are the individuals that set up shop in Singapore, use the family office as a vehicle to be able to invest their money in Singapore and around the region. And that's a lot of the work I do at this point. There's a few projects at the moment. Why Singapore? It's very simple. Once your money gets cleared, gets KYC, AML, it's clean and clear, it hits the Singapore bank. Once it hits the Singapore bank, immediately you have access to 25 different countries around the region. Immediately. That means the money can flow from Singapore to Australia, no questions asked. Right? That's the beauty of Singapore. Now, outside of that, the Singapore government has come up with several initiatives. One of which the more recent one and the one that's used most often in the last almost 2 years is the variable capital companies. Essentially, they allow funds to sit in a particular organization, which then redirects those funds into other investments around. It could be Singapore, it could be in Vietnam, whatever it is. You just park all those funds under this umbrella. And the best thing about this is it's tax-free.
Awesome. Marcus, thanks so much. And I guess people will reach you through our website, landcredit.ai. Thanks, Marcus.
But this is it. This is it. And I appreciate you guys for working with me, and I'm ready to move forward, and I appreciate it.
I'm choosing you because I know you're a very reputable company. And I want to go into the 250,000 or the DCL program that you mentioned in your website. Hopefully we could have a very fruitful and profitable relationship in the near future.
With Taimour just get things done, and basically he's the guy when you have a problem, he's the guy that you're going to call to get the problem solved. So,
now I'm going to get 10,000 calls that I don't need.
It is a give and take that we are really happy to do because you're bringing a lot on our plate, and it is going to really benefit not only us but our future generation.
Awesome. Thanks so much for giving me some of your time and your trust. I really appreciate it.